everyone, it's Carol here at Oak House Journals. Big one welcome from me as always, and as you can see I've got guest check number 34 on my desk, so I'm going to be doing another of the 50 stack challenges today. The prompt that Amy has set for this guest check number 34 is number or numbers. So I've got lots and lots of goodies on my desk here. Obviously I've got my guest check, I've got some pieces of card that I've trimmed to size already, or trimmed to size-ish. I've got some little number cards here that I made ages and ages and ages ago, so I'm going to be using one of those. Let me start a pile of what I'm going to use. So I'm going to be using one of those. I have a stencil with some numbers on and some of this distress texture paste and a palette knife, because I'm going to be using that. I've got some of the Ranger mini plaquettes, so I'm just going to grab one of these because I'm going to use one of those. I have also got a ball chain, so that's coming into play. I've got some of these, I'm not quite sure what these are called, but they're the things that you put at the top of little dangles, and then you thread your chain through, so little clips of some sort, so I might use one of those. I've got number tokens here and some of these bigger ones, and again all Tim Holtz or Ranger stuff, and it's mixed in with some word tokens. Now I've lifted one out, I've lifted this one out merely because I like the shape of it, so I might be using that, or it might go back into my pot. And as you can see, I've also got here some of the Tim Holtz Remnant Rubs, and this is the eccentric collection or range, so there's lots of numbers on here that I might use. So the first thing I want to do is to use some texture paste, and I'm going to pull out this piece of card. Now this is cut to size to fit my guest check, and what I thought I would do is go over it with some texture paste and some numbers. I'm hesitating just for a second because I'm trying to decide whether to stitch first. I'm going to stitch around this, or whether to do the texture paste first. And I think I'll go in straight away with the texture paste. So let me get started with that. So first things first, I'm going to move away my mat and work directly onto my glass mat here. Let's move that to one side as well. I've got some washi tape here, so I'm going to use a little bit of that to anchor things down. There we go. So this is what my background piece looks like now that I've gone over it with the texture paste. I need to leave this to dry now, and then I'm going to go in and do some stitching with black thread all the way around the outside. And I'm also going to be stitching around the outside of these other pieces here. This is what my pieces look like now that they are all stitched round. This is my background piece, as you can see, with the numbers in texture paste. This one, and I just put a little bit of zigzag there, and that's that one. So I'm just going to very quickly go round the outside edges with some Distress Oxide Hickory Smoke. So I was thinking that I would layer these up something like that, have that one on top of that one, and have this one as a hanging tag, which you probably guessed with me lifting out the ball chain. I'm going to put this number on here, and what I've done is I marked up at the bottom here. If I lift that up to the camera, at the bottom I've just put two little marks because I'm going to use one of the Tim Holtz plaquettes, and I'm going to have that at the bottom there like that. So I need to now pierce a hole, put the brads through to secure that in place before I actually glue the number onto the tag. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to just glue that in place onto the tag there. Yeah, happy with that. Okay, so I want to layer these two pieces on top of each other, and I want to put an eyelet through them to hold them together. But if I do that and then try and glue this down onto here, it's not going to adhere very well. So I'm thinking that I will have to glue this onto my guest check, and when I do the eyelets, take it through to the back of my guest check. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this to my guest check. And I'm just going to go around this with some hickory smoke again, just to get rid of the white edge on the guest check. I'm thinking that I'm going to have that on there like that. I'm going to glue this in place just down from the top up here, so that the top of this tag is just touching the line of stitching there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to glue it all. I'm going to just glue along the top here. So I've just glued the top probably about 1/4 of an inch, so that I can lift this up and look at the texture paste underneath so that it's not all hidden. So I'm just marking here where I want my eyelets to go. So I'm just going to go in now and do the same thing on this little tag. So punch a hole around about there, and another one there. And there we go. I've got my eyelets in this one as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to thread my chain through the back of this one, through the front, and take it through the holes here, flip it over and secure the ball chain in the clasp. And there's my little hangy tag on there, like that. So as you can see, I'm going in here with some remnant rubs, and I've just picked out a long sentence, and I'm going to put it down the left hand side on the second tag. Helps if you have it the right way around though. I'm just trying to place it so that it's underneath the line of stitching that I've done on that tag, or on that particular piece. So I've just found another one that I think would be perfect in that top left hand corner of the hanging tag. So I'm just securing that one in place, just rubbing it with my bone folder. I found a postal mark that I wanted to use, so I've used that over the two bottom layers, just cutting away there with my knife. I'm looking at that big number 5 and wondering whether I can place that underneath the hanging tag, and decide I can do. I like the look of it there, so I'm just securing it in place. And a final one in that top left hand corner there. So here we go, everybody. This is my finished piece for prompt number 34, and the prompt for this one, as I've mentioned earlier, was number or numbers. So I went a little bit mad with numbers everywhere. I've got texture paste numbers on the back here. I've got remnant rub numbers here and here. I've got little mini plaquettes. I've got a big Remnant Rub number 5 there, and my paper that I've used, or my cardstock that I've used, has got numbers on it. And then I've got a little hangy tag with this card that I made ages and ages ago with the number 9 on it. So I hope you like this one, everybody. Came together really quickly. I had the idea and just went with it. So I'm quite pleased how this one has turned out, and that's what it looks like on the back. So as always, I'll do some close-up photos at the end so that you can have a better look if you're interested. And I look forward to catching up with you next week for prompts 35 and 36 in the 50 stack challenge. So until then, have a fantastic week, take care, and see you soon. Bye bye now.